This is the part 1 for the grade 9 advanced EoT. It is the multiple choice question. Since you'll be given questions and you have to just choose one correct answer, I will just do the shortcut and calculator methods for this part. Question 1 is solving multi-step equations. Here, you have been asked to solve each equation. You do not need to check because there's no writing. It's directly choosing the correct answer. We will just need our calculators for this. Here you can just input all these values. 3, x can be alpha and x plus 8. That is equal to, that is alpha and calc, 29. That's it. If you want the variable x, you need to press alpha and this closing bracket symbol that gives you x. When you click alpha, all these red symbols will be unlocked. Then to press equal to, you can see alpha and equal to is here, calc. Now if you press equal to, it's error. You need to press shift calc, and this is not the correct answer. That's the previous stored value. After pressing shift calc, you need to press equal to. This is the correct answer. It's 7. Let me do it by writing as well this one question. All you need to do is keep x at one side and solve all the things to the other side. So 8 moves to the other side, becomes minus. So here you have 29 minus 8 is 21 basically. And this is 3x itself. Divide both the sides by 3. X will be equal to 7. So that's the answer. Even over here will be a divided by 6. This is a equals 9 plus 5. A divided by 6 will be equal to 14. 6 goes to the other side. A will be 14 times 6. 60 plus 24 is 84 would be the correct answer. Now how do you check this? All you need to do is put this in the calculator. Now this is variable a, but you have to always use alpha x because there is no other variable that will be able to solve as equation in the calculator. So anything a, b, c, d, always put alpha x. Divided by 6 minus 5 equals 9. Shift solve equal to, the answer is 84. So these are the solution. You can check the exact method here as well, but all these can be solved in calculator. Let me do this one. You can do these by yourselves and check the answers. 5, r is the variable x, divided by 2. All the numbers, you write them as it is. 19, shift solve equal to, you can see the answer is 10. Here as well, x by 3 minus 8, that is equal to minus 2. So it's minus 2. Shift and solve and then press equal to, the answer is 18. Similarly, please do the other problems by yourselves. They're all easy problems. And here as well. Now here, when you're typing it out, please use brackets properly. 5 bracket 1 plus x, close the bracket, equals minus 5. Shift solve equal to, it's minus 2. Now here, if you are solving it manually, it was distributive property that was used. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 5n is equal to minus 5. And let's solve this to the other side. 5n will be equal to minus 5 minus 5 minus 10 is 5n. N will be equal to, divide both the sides by 5, minus 2. That's the correct answer. And we got directly in the calculator without any methods. The reason I'm not doing any methods is, this is not electronic, sorry. You have everything in paper, but there'll be 4 choices given to you. You have to just select the correct answer. So you just have to put a tick or highlight n is equal to minus 2 from the 4 options. That's why it's very easy. And even over here, you can directly solve and get the answer. And that is the end of the question 1. A very easy topic. Just you can use your calculator, or if you want, you can solve it manually. It's up to you. Question 2 is to solve absolute value equations. Here you can use calculator, but first thing you need to remember, there are 2 cases when we solve absolute value. First case, before that first case, let me take a simple example. If I have min x over here, absolute value is equal to 3. So this x either can be a positive value or a negative value. This is case 2. Why is this? Let me show you. Because whatever is the x value, right? If it was minus 3, absolute value gives you 3 itself. Or if it was 3 also, it will give you 3. So this can be either negative or positive. So we are writing this is either positive or negative. So the same thing here. Case 1, what happens? Whatever is inside the bracket, I mean the modulus symbol, that modulus means two lines, absolute value, to Q, right? Can be positive. Let me write it as it is. And case 2, I'll take it as negative. Case 2, what I do? It'll be 7 minus 2Q is equal to 3. This entire thing, whatever is inside the modulus, will be minus here. So this is it. Now you can either manually solve it or directly in the calculator. It's up to you. Now I'll solve it manually. Here for one of the problem, it's just minus 2Q equals 3. And take this to the other side. Minus becomes positive. And this 3 to the other side becomes minus. It'll be 4 equals 2Q or 2 is equal to Q. Whereas here you have to multiply the minus sign. So it becomes this over here, and now take this 7 to the other side. It will be 2Q is equal to 3 plus 7. 2Q is equal to 10 and Q will be equal to 5. Very simple, isn't it? Now, the more easier method would be calculator method directly from these two cases. Only the case you need to write and then you can use your calculator. The first one was, you do not need to put bracket because there's no negative sign. Minus 2Q cannot be written. It's X. That is equal to 3. Shift and solve, then make it equal to, the answer is 2. Yes, that's what case 1. Now, what about the next one? Here, now you can just put the brackets and put the negative sign. Shift and solve, make it equal to 0. It's 5. So this is how easily we can solve this problem. Let's do another. You can see the answers are 2 and 5. Now, how will it be asked in the exam? How will the options be given? You can have the options like this. Q is equal to 2 and Q is equal to 5. Or generally the solution set, they write smaller number first and 5. They'll have other wrong options as well. You need to see which is correct answer and then choose the correct one. That's it. Now, how about this one? Let us write the two cases first. Case 1, case 2. First thing, 4x minus 2 will be equal to 26. Another one will be 4x minus 2, that is equal to 26 itself, but negative sign here. So then we will take our calculator. All you do is type in. I'll use the brackets because it'll be just to put a negative sign in the second case. Close the bracket, equal to 26. Shift and solve. The first answer is 7. Now what about the next answer? Here all you do is minus and press shift and solve. The answer over here is minus 6. So the solution is, now this is wrong. It's the question is wrong, guys. I will solve it manually. It should be minus 7 and minus 6. Let me do it. 4x minus 2 is equal to 26 itself. So here you take this 2 to the other side. It will be 4x is equal to 26 plus 2. That will be 28. That is 4x. Divide both the sides by 4. What do you get? 1 time over here, 7 times. Yeah. X, this is x is equal to 7. That's the correct answer. And over here, it's minus 4x plus 2. That is equal to 26. Now, how could you solve this? 4 is negative, so take it to the other side. And this minus 26, get it to the inside here. It'll be minus 26 plus 2 equals positive 4x. Minus 24 is equal to positive 4x. Divide both the sides by 4. You'll get minus 6 is equal to x. This is the correct answer. I hope this much is clear. And that's what we got in the calculator as well. The first answer was 7 and the second answer over here is minus 6. I'll show you the first answer. Just remove the negative sign. It's 7. Please ignore this solution set over here. Apologies for that. Now, what about this one? Again, it's the same thing. You need to have two cases. The first case here, see here they have written it like this, but actually, again, the solution set is wrong. Okay, I realize this is the previous solution set. You can see the question over here, and then you can solve it up. Whatever is there inside the modulus, either will be positive or next time it will be, sorry, minus will be outside, negative. This is it. Now this minus can be taken to the other side and the right side becomes minus as well, but this is the actual method, okay? And you can just put this in the calculator to solve it. Even here, they're all same type of problems. There's nothing much of this. Okay, I forgot to see this question itself. Look at this question here, -1. Okay, let us see, where is absolute value? It's shift and HYP, that's hyperbolic function. When you press shift and this, you get absolute value. Let me take any negative number, some random number, or let me take a positive number. Doesn't matter what, the answer is positive. So whatever is inside this modulus, even if it's negative or positive, the answer will be positive. So how can I have a negative here? You can even try this. See, shift HYP X. You'll just get a single answer because the equation will be giving you only a single answer. It's giving me 3. But now I will change this to -3, shift and solve. Look here. Can't solve because it's a math error. There is no possible solution for this. There is no solution. It's a null set or an empty set. You just denote it like this, or you select the term empty set, or it can be null, NULL set. That's the answer. Whereas only when there is plus here at the right side, you can solve it up. Here you can easily solve it up. You can use calculator as well. Even over here, it's pretty straightforward. This one as well. How about this problem? Can you solve this up? No, this is minus at the right side, so it's a null set. So here it's basically this symbol, or you can just tell empty set. There's no solution for this because right side cannot be equal to negative. So that's the end of question 2. Another very easy question. Just remember to make the 2 cases and then solve it up. Question 3 is about rate of change and slope. So slope, you know, the formula is given as m equals y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Only thing is you need to remember this formula. Here we have to find the rate of change. How would you find? By using 2 points from the table. They do not specify any specific points, but you can see the rate of change over here, 2, 3, 4, over here it's 5, 10, 15, 20, here as well. It's subtracted by 6, 15 to 9, 6, again 6 minus 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're having a constant change, rate of change. You can choose any points. I choose x1, then x2, y1, y2. All I do is I'll substitute in the formula. y2 is 3 minus 2 divided by 10 minus 5. Here what happens? y2 will be this one, y1, x1, x2. You can even change the points. It's going to be the same thing. It'll be 9 minus 15 divided by 2 minus 1. You can just put it in the calculator, this one directly. Some students, instead of typing only the right side, they'll type x equals all this. You will get the answer, but why are you doing that? Because m is at one side, you don't need to use the equation. Directly, whatever is at the right side, just put it in the calculator. 3 minus 2, it's 1 divided by 5. So it'll be 0.2. That's the answer. Here, what you do is same thing. Fraction 9 minus 15 divided by 2 minus 1. It'd be minus 6. That's the answer. You can easily do it. Those are the answers. Now, what about this one here? They have told the table shows the population density of a state of Texas for the state of Texas in various years in 1930, 1960, and so on. Find the average annual rate of change in population density from 2000, this is your first x1 value, to 2009 x2. So this will be y1, y2. I'll just put in the calculator directly. You have to just do y2, that is 96.7 minus 79.6 divided by 2009. Now you can consider this to be 9 minus 0, or you can do it 2009 as well. They have not told anything, you know. Minus 2000. It's basically 9. You can just see how much is the difference in the years. You don't need to type 2000, 2009 and all. You can easily count 0 to 9. It's 9 years. Now it will be 9. So the answer is 1.9. And here we go, that is the answer. So that was the rate of change from 2000 to 2009. Now we have in 2012 that there were approximately 275 students in Delaware High School band. In 2018, the number increased to 305. Find the annual rate of change of in the number of students in the band. So here in 4 years, sorry, 6 years, there is a change from 275 to 305. Let's see which is the second or higher number. See, you should see which is the first year. It's 2012. Next one, Y2. Sorry, this is X2 is 2018. So Y2 would be 305 minus the initial value. It's 275 divided by 2018 minus 2012. Or let me just write this 12. It's 5. But you can also just put this as 6. Why? From 2012 to 2018, it's 6 years. So the answer is 5. That's how easily we can solve the question number 3. Just remember the formula of slope, substitute, and easily solve them all up. The question 4 is about graphing. The equations can be in slope-intercept form or in other forms. Here you can see there are plenty of graphs and plenty of equations. In your exam, since this is in the choices part, multiple choice question part, you might be either given a single graph and 4 equations, or the equation might be given and 4 graphs might be given. Let's do anyways how to solve this. Now, whenever you have the slope-intercept form, it is very, very simple. Let me say this equation, y equals minus 3x plus 8. All you need to focus is on the y-intercept, because this y equals mx plus b is the best form, the slope-intercept form, right? To graph it is one of the best form, right? Because this b value tells you where the graph is touching the y-axis. Here it's plus 8. Let me see. This can be the possible solution and this can be the possible solution. But you can see here there is minus 3, that is the slope. Slope is minus negative value, right? That means it just moves downwards. It cannot move upwards or flat. It has to move downwards. What does this flat mean? It's 0. If there is nothing here, if this part is only not there, then it can be a flat line. So now if you look carefully, there are 2 8s, and over here there is one more 8, and over here also there is one more 8. But look at it, y is minus. If you rearrange this and write y to the other side, will be 3x minus 8. So it goes. We will come to that in a while. But now let's only focus on the first and the fourth equation. So looking at the y-intercepts, we can easily tell this equation is going downwards. So B is your correct answer. Whereas here it is B. Whereas the first equation is a flat line. So that there is no this term. It should be only y is equal to B. That is 8. So this is the equation for B. Now then, what about the other? Let's go with minus 4. Here we have minus 4 and minus 4. Since this is the multiple choice question, you can just follow these methods and directly find the answer. It's very, very easy. Now then, this is minus 4, isn't it? Over here, and we have over here and over here. So let's see one by one. Now, I do not know there is one more minus 4, but I can see when we solve this up, we will get it, but we will wait for that later on. So here, y is minus 4. That means it should be a flat line. Which is minus 4 flat line? C. But what about this one? What is the slope here? Slope is positive, so it should go upwards. Is it this line? No. It has to go upwards. So it is E over here. And now, whenever they are not in the slope-intercept form like these two equations, what you need to do is basically write them in the slope-intercept form. So here, 3x plus 7y equals negative 28, right? Let's write the slope-intercept form. That means y equals mx plus b. So take this 3x to the other side. It will be 7y is equal to minus 3x plus 28. Now divide all the sides by 7 here. So it will be 7 and 7. So it will be y is equal to minus 3 by 7x. And 28 divided by 7 would be... Now, if you're getting confused by this division, just divide all the terms by 7. That is also true. both on the left side of equal to and right side of equal to, you must divide by 7. If you have plus or minus, that divides into separate terms. So that is what I did. It's negative 3 by 7x, and 28 divided by 7 is 4 over here. So now this is the equation. Now where is 4? This was done and this was done. So only one remaining option, so we can directly tell F, but otherwise, let's see over here. It is, now what did I do? This is minus 28. I just realized it should be minus. Okay, that's a small mistake which I did, but which would be a major mistake. So be careful when you're solving. Minus 28, that's minus 4. So this is the y-intercept. Now then, the slope is negative. It should go downwards. Yes, absolutely, it's going down. So it is F. That is also done. So this is F. I put a cross over here. So lastly, we have one remaining. But let's solve this up. So I will take y to the other side and make it positive. 3x, 8 comes inside. Minus 8 is equal to y. Or y is equal to 3x minus 8. So where do we have minus 8? That's over here. Negative 8. And then it goes upwards, yes, because the slope is positive, so this is A. And that's how we can easily solve them up. If you want to graph them, you know you can do mode 7, we have done before, and easily graph them up. But this is how, from the equations, you can easily get the graphs. Hope this is clear. It is D, C, F, B, E, and lastly, we have A. That's the end of the question 4. Moving on to the question 5, one of the easiest concept in this EoT, it's to solve proportions. Now, since this is in the multiple choice question, we can solve all this by calculators. Let's take our calculators now. In order to solve proportions, all you need to do is type in the equations. So we have 7 divided by 1.066 equals is by alpha, and over here calc, that gives you equal to. And now whenever you have a variable like a, b, y, z, you need to input it as x, alpha and x only, because you cannot consider any other variable than x in your calculator. So then we have 9.65. Don't press equal to, it will be wrong. You should press shift, solve, and then equal to. Now this is your correct answer. Now in the question they have told nearest hundredth. Round it off to nearest 100. 100 is having how many zeros? 2 zeros. So we need to only consider 2 digits after the decimal. See, it's only until there. But since the third digit is more than 5, we need to round it off. Here the answer is 63.3 and 7. Rounding off is very important. Now imagine you had 7.395 and round it off to nearest 100. Here what you need to do is, since it's 9, you can consider this as a whole. In the sense, which is the next number of 39? It's 40, it will be 40. What happens is 9 increases to 10, it will be 0, and 1 added over here to 3 will be 4. This is the thing. Now, what about the other way around? Like if you have, say, 3, 5, 5. It's not 3, 9. Now here, all you need to see is, okay, this is 5 or more. So 30, only this 5 becomes 6. It will be 7.36. That's the thing. Whenever it's 5 or more, only you change. Whereas you have 4. Now, in this case, it will just remain as 7.59. I hope this is clear, the rounding off. And if they ask you nearest 1,000, 1,000 would mean 1, 2, 3. There are 3 digits, 3 zeros. So there must be 3 digits after the decimal. This would be the answer. So this is how you round it off. Now here, what is the answer? It is 63.37. Similarly, you can do other equations. All you need to do is type it out. X minus 3 divided by 5. Now, since this is a multiple choice question, you can easily just use your calculator and solve. And just press shift, solve, and equal to 6. That's the answer. So this is how you can solve this all by yourselves. Let me just see another. Okay, this one seems a bit lengthy. Now, if you wanted to solve it manually, all you do is cross multiply, take it to the other side, multiply the brackets, and solve it up. It's very basic. We have done it before. In the writing part, in detail, methods have been shown. But here now, for the choices, I'll write everything in the calculator directly. divided by 9. This is divided by 9. So make sure once you type it out in the calculator, double check it. We have 5b plus 5 divided by 3. See, just double check your input from what is the given question and then shift solve and equal to, the answer should be minus 3. Yes, that is the answer. Even over here, it's very simple. I'll do that one as well. It's 4x divided by 15, sorry, 4x plus 7 divided by 15 equals, here we have 6x plus 2 divided by 10. And you just press shift solve equal to, the answer is 0.8. Please try all these problems, and there you go. These are the answers over here, and very easy one, all in calculator. This is it. There's nothing different problems, they're all same, and that's the end of the proportion topic. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. Question 6 is supposed to be graphing linear functions, but the exercises 20 to 25 is just to find x and y intercept. But anyways, I'll just graph one equation over here. So it's to find the x and y intercept of the graph of each function. Now they have clearly not mentioned anything to graph, but the graphs might be given, or you might have an equation. You need to find the x and y intercepts. So let us do this. So first step, you need to remember to find x-intercept, y value will be equal to 0, and to find y-intercept, the x value will be equal to 0. Now these are two different things, okay? So here in this equation, the same equation, I will write phi x plus, to find the x-intercept, I need to have the x value because x is equal to something. But what about the y value? It is 0. Equals 15. The same thing here. Now in y-intercept, I need to have y value, not the x. X will be 0. It'll be 5 times 0 plus 3y equals 15. And now I'm not going to solve this. You can't solve it manually. This becomes 0. Divide everything by 5. X is 3. But if it's a complicated equation, and since it's multiple choice, I'll just show you the calculator method. This much is compulsory. It's a must for any problem to find x and y intercept. Now all you do is phi x plus 3 times 0. I'll write it as it is. 3 times 0 equals 15. You just have to press shift solve and then equal to, the answer is 3, isn't it? So here in the left side, the x-intercept, x value is 3. If you do the method also, it'll be 3. Phi x equals 15 because this is 0. Divide both the sides by 5. X is 3. Now what about the right side? Again, here only just change. This time x value is 0, and wherever you put y 0, right? Just put there x, because we have only one variable, whether it's x, y, z, you put it as x variable because that means it's y, okay? Now shift and solve and then equal to its phi. Here you can solve it and you'll get phi itself. So that's the answer. You can see x-intercept is 3 and y-intercept is 5. Now how to graph it? Let me just graph it. If at all you have been given a coordinate, see where is x-intercept? On the x line, right? X-axis, y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, somewhere over here, make a point. Where is y? It's 1, 2, 3. Let me consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This point. All you need to do is take a scale and join these 2 points accurately, and that's the answer. This is it. I hope this is clear. So this would be the graph. So graphing is very simple. Or if you have been given a graph like this, say imagine this is 1 to 3, and imagine this is about 0.5 or half. Then these both are intercepts. Y-intercept is 3 and x-intercept is half. If a graph is given, it's very easy to find the intercepts. But if an equation is given, you need to put it as x0, y0 for certain x and y intercepts and then find it out. I'll do one more problem. Let me look into a tough one. Okay, these are, okay, I'll do this one. Here as well, all you need to do is for x-intercept, y equals 0. So here 6x plus 2 times 0 equals 8. That's the first equation. And for y-intercept, x is 0. So all you do is 6 times 0 plus 2y equals 8. And now you just put in the calculator and solve. Here you need to put 6 times x. I'll write it as multiplied times, or you can even write without, it's fine. Plus 2. If you want to put the brackets, absolutely fine. It will be considered as multiplication itself, or you can just write multiplied symbol equals 8. Shift and solve. The answer is 1.333. This is important. I'll show you what will be the options in a minute. Now here at the right side, the same equation, isn't it? Just change this to x. So it's x. And then over here, this x, you just have to multiply it by 0. And then press shift and solve. Here the answer is 4. So y-intercept is 4, whereas the x-intercept is 1.333, right? Y is 4. But you won't have options of 1.333. Why? Because see over here, if I put 1.3, let me put some many numbers of 333. If I press equal to, what's the answer? It's 4 by 3. Or if you want in fraction, proper fraction, it's 1/3, right? So this is the answer. Now if you're thinking, okay, 1.33, how is this? You can use your calculator to check the answers. You can easily tell y is 4, correct. But what about this symbol, this over here, x-intercept? You can check it by pressing shift and the fraction symbol. Now press 1/3. What is it equal to? It's 4 by 3 or 1.333. So this is how we can match the answer. Now please don't press half and then write some number. This would be wrong. You have to press shift and fraction symbol for whole number and fractions. Now over here at the left side, 2, 1.5. So it's 1 by 2. And the answer is 5 by 2 or 2.5. Same way over here. Lastly, I'll just show you. It'll be 3. And over here we have 2. And lastly we have 1 as the whole number, -1. Now I just changed it because I already have used shift and fraction symbol. Once you use it's fine. And the answer is 1.66. -1.667. So please make sure you press shift and this fraction symbol and then solve it up. So that's how we would solve it. And over here, these are again pretty straightforward problems. You just put in the calculator and then easily solve them up. That would be the end of question 6. The question 7 is about transformation of linear functions. Again, it's one of the easy topics. All you need to do is recognize the correct graph. You have been given the original function y is equal to x. This is the original function whenever it moves from 0. Now, y can be written as g of x, f of x, say f of x, g of x, or anything, r of x. All this means it's y. So whatever at the right side, you will have only the function of x. It will be x plus 11 or x plus anything, So this is how we denote the function. So when you look at this, you must understand it's y equals x plus 11. Now plus 11 is the y-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. You're adding by 11. So what happens is there's a jump at 11. So this is the thing. It looks something like that, isn't it? So here, all you need to see is a graph whose y-intercept is up at 11 and then the same line is parallel to it. See here, this is the correct answer at 11. So you can just simply look at the y-intercept and solve it up. You don't need to do any table or anything. Now what about this? At -8, just search for a graph where is at -8. That's it. Now -7, it would be again over here somewhere at -7. You need to take a scale and draw a graph. But I mean, you will have to just choose the correct answer. So it's very simple. That's it. Plus 12, it would be up over here at 12. And then, now when you get such problems, when you have two parts, the simpler method would be just solve it up. X plus 10 minus 1 would be equal to x plus 9, isn't it? Because 10 minus 1 is 9. So look for a graph which is having an intercept at 9. That's it. See over here, this is having at 9. And lastly, over here, it's -9 plus 5. So it will be -4. Where is that -4? This is the correct equation. So this is it. You don't need to do any other translation, right, left, nothing. Just look at the y-intercept and then graph it up. So that's the end of question 7. Very easy question again. Before we move on to the next question, a humble request to all of you. If you're finding these videos helpful, please do share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel. There are more than 1000 videos related to math. Another humble request to all of you, please do subscribe to my channel. I want to thank all those who have subscribed to it. As you can see, only 22.3% of my viewers are subscribed to the channel. It would mean a lot to me if you could just hit the subscribe button. Moving to the question 8, it is to write and interpret equations. Here we have different equations. Now you can write them and interpret them in different ways. When I was revising it with my students, the EoT questions, they were telling me all different answers for this, and all of them are correct. But since now you have choices, you have to choose the correct one, go through all the 4 options and then see which matches correctly. Let me just show you in this example, exercise 13. J plus 16 equals 35. Just the j plus 16, right, can be told as sum of j and 16. When j and 16 is added together, j plus 16, the quantity of j added to 16. So many other ways. Now equal to means same as, equal to, identical to, different ways. And 35 can be written as 35 itself. So these are the things. Now let's look into the answer here. The sum of j and 16 is 35. Simple as that. And you can have variations as well, but what you need to see is all the 4 options and which has the main important part. See, j plus 16, j and 16. See, sum is there. Yeah, that means it's plus. Now 35 is, okay, this would be the correct answer. Now this is 4 times n, or product of 4 and m. It's the same thing. So you need to see which is the correct option given. Is or is equal to 252. And this over here, you can write it as the quantity of, over here they have written 7 times the sum of p and 23. You can write the quantity of p added to 23. Anything can be done because brackets are there. Is same as 102. Now this over here, power 2, can be written as squared or it can be written as power 2 itself. 15 less than, see now here because it's minus, this can be written first. It's up to you. Or you can tell r squared subtracted from, or r squared minus 15, different ways, Now here 15 is used less than the square of r. So 15 is subtracted from this much. So 15 less than the square of r. Square of r means r power 2 equals the sum of t and 19. Now here also again 2/3, 2/5, 3/4, 2/3. So you can write it as 2/5 we added to a plus 3/4 is identical to, this is same as equal to 2/3 of x squared, or square of x is the same thing. Here again 1/3 minus 4/5 z equals, or is 4/3 of y cubed. Now here y is cubed because y power 3. If you have more than power 3, they'll just tell you raised to the power 4 or power 4. That's it. Now here as well, it's g plus 10 is same as 3 times g. And lastly, we have 2 times, so 2 times the quantity of, now they have used quantity because brackets are there. It's up to you. Quantity of t plus 4 times q is 2 times q plus 4 times t. So these would be all different variations of the answer. These are not the only answers. There can be different ways of interpreting these equations. Now, so be careful in your options. Read all your options and then match. Because I'm sure some of it will be, instead of plus, we would have minus. So you can easily eliminate them, So see, all these numbers must be mentioned in the writing, and only that would be the correct answer. And that is the end of question 8. In the question 9, we have to write the equations in standard form, and only 2 points are given to us. You can see these 2 points are given, and we need to write in standard form. Of course, there is shortcut methods. When you have 4 different options, we can easily find the correct answer. But I will just write the exact method as well for this one. See, we need to first find the slope. Whenever 2 points are given, we always know we have to find the slope, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. What is standard form? Standard form means ax plus by equals c. The x and y terms are grouped up together equals the number, the constant terms separately. Which equation can we solve? Which equation can we use to solve the standard form? You can use, say, slope intercept and then rearrange it, but the easier method would be point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. All you do is substitute the known values. Here, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. You can substitute 4 and minus 7 here, and of course you'll get the correct answer itself, the same answer. You can check it for any problem. But since over here m is unknown, first we solve for m and then choose whichever is easier values over here. Now let's solve the m value first. Y2 is minus 7, minus of minus 3 divided by x2 is 4, minus of minus 2. The answer would be minus 7 plus 3 divided by 4 plus 2. Here, when you solve this up, it will be minus 4 divided by 6. It is negative 2/3. That is the slope. So m value is minus 2/3. X and y will remain as it is, but what is y1 and x1? You can choose this set or this set, up to you. I'll choose the simplified one, the minus 3, the first one itself. And over here we have minus of minus 2. Because both are negative, we have to put brackets and write them. Now let's solve them. It'll be plus 3, y plus 3 is equal to negative 2/3, x plus 2. Now this 2/3 is multiplied inside, it'll be 2/3 of x minus 4 by 3. Why? Because 2/3 multiplied by 2 is 2 times 2 is 4, divided by 3, negative sign. And here we have y plus 3. Now here standard form requires x to be grouped up together. So I'll bring this entire term at the other side of equal to. It will be positive 2/3 x plus y is equal to this 3 to the other side becomes minus 3. Okay, 4 by 3 minus 3. So now we need to solve it. You can use your calculator and solve it, but I'll just do it in over here. 3 by 3. So we will have divided 3 minus and minus 9, 13. So that would be the final answer. It's 2/3 x plus y equals negative 13. We have just multiplied 3 by 3, so the fraction denominators will be the same, and then I can solve the numerators. So this is the correct answer. I'll just check the answer if I done any mistake or anything. That's okay. Now here, this is the correct answer, but they simplified, this option may not be there. This is the correct option itself, but I saw over there the denominators were not there. What they do is, whenever your options are given, they don't write fractions like this. They will multiply throughout by 3. This 3 is multiplied throughout. That means I'm balanced. It's fine. You can multiply the same term throughout the equal to sign. It's okay. That's a balanced equation itself. So what happens is this 3 and 3 cancels here. It will be 2x. There is no denominator, so you have to multiply 3 times y. It will be 3y. Here also it's 2 by thirds multiplied by 3. The 3 and 3 cancels, and so you have only 2x. Here there's nothing, so it's 3 times y equals minus 13 divided by this cancels off, it will be minus 13. So this is your final answer. Even this was correct above, but the option is just rearranged and written, simplified and written. So you can see that would be the correct answer now. So that's it. But since the options are given, I will tell you a shortcut and an easy method. But you need to know all the 4 options, and you need to have a calculator to do this method. Let's all take our calculators here. So all you do is, you know this particular equation, right? X and y terms are together. So if you input this x and y here, the right side must be balanced. Whatever the answer is at the right must be at the left side. So I'll show you what it means. 2 multiplied by, instead of x, I'm going to put x and y. X is how much? Minus 2. So for each question, you should just consider x and y, and try both the set of points. Here, x is minus 2 plus 3 times, what is y? Minus 3. Let me just press equal to. It is minus 13. Yes, this is equal to. But what about the other set of values? Just change the x value from minus 2 to 4 and from minus 3 to 7, minus 7. It's still negative 13. Yes, this is correct set of points. All the other points will not match. If they match, it cannot be, because then it's the same equation here as well for both the points. So there will be only one set of points, this xy. When you put it in the equation, it will be equal to the right side value. So just put it in all the four equations and check. So let's try this one as well. You need to know the answers, and now I will show you. All you do is, in the right side equation, phi into x will be 2 minus 7 times 7. The answer is negative 39. And now let me put the next point. It is minus phi times 2 minus 39. You can try this to any equation and it will work. So let me try this one. It seems a little bigger. So here you have 4 into minus 1 minus 19. The answer is negative 23. And we have 4 multiplied by 3 minus 35. Absolutely, it's negative 3. So when you do this, in the other equations, right, they do not match, because these points cannot be matching the other equations. It won't be balanced. Only one correct equation will balance, and that's the correct answer. And that is the end of question 9. In question 10, we find the slopes of the line and then determine whether the lines are parallel or perpendicular. We have to analyze this problem. Levy claims that the line through this particular point, minus 6, minus 2 and 2, 10, is perpendicular to the graph of given equation. That is 3x minus 2y equals 10. Do you agree? Justify your argument. So how can we tell whether they are perpendicular? We need to find the slopes. We have 2 points here, x1, y1, x2 and y2. That is one set of points where we can find the slope by m is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. That's one thing. And we have a standard form of equation. Now here, if we write it in the slope-intercept form, that is y is equal to mx plus b, then we can get the slope easily, right? And then we can compare. Now here, let me start writing over here. Let me solve this equation. Instead of 3x, I'll move. See, now this is 3x, right? I'll leave that 3x here. I'll move the 2y to the other side. Why? Because I want to make this positive. Plus 10. Now I'll write this entire things first. It will be 2y plus 10 equals 3x. And just take 10 to the other side. It will be 2y equals 3x minus 10. And lastly, what do we do is divide everything by 2. So I'll get only y, because here it is only y, isn't it? So this cancels off. It will be y is equal to 3 by 2x minus 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. This is done. What is the slope here? See, it's y is equal to mx plus b, right? So the slope is m, that is 3 by 2. Now let's find the slope in this points. That's the points, right? Given over here. It's y2 is 10 minus of minus 2 divided by 2 minus of minus 6. So what is the slope? It'll be minus and minus will become plus. It'll be 10 plus 2 is 12 divided by, again over here, plus. It'll be 8. And the answer would be 3 by 2. That is m, because over here 3. Yes, 4 2 times and 4 3 times. Now look at the slopes. They are same, isn't it? If the same slopes are there for both the lines, then they are parallel. So this is parallel lines basically. And one more thing, when are they perpendicular? It can be perpendicular when you have the negative reciprocal inverse. Negative reciprocal, that's it. Negative inverse. Wait, let me write it. M must be equivalent to minus 1 by m. In the sense, if I have, say, 2 as the slope, the perpendicular line slope will be minus 1 divided by 2. If I have, say, 3 by 2, it should have been minus, Now you can swap this because it's a fraction, it'll be 2 by 3. This should have been the slope. We have the same slope, so it's parallel. If it was minus and inverse of that, then it would be perpendicular. So here we do not agree because Levy is wrong. They are parallel lines because they have the same slopes. So that's the things. Since the slopes are equal, the lines are parallel rather than being perpendicular. Again, a similar problem. Jeremiah says that the line through 7, minus 10 and 3, minus 2 is parallel to this particular line. Do you agree? Let's find the slope again. We can find this m is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. And m is equal to, let's substitute, it will be minus 2, say it's x1 y1, x2 y2. Minus 2 minus of minus 10 divided by 3 minus 7, and the answers would be, it's plus 10 minus 2, it's 8 divided by minus 7, and 3, that would be minus 4. So the final answer would be negative 2 here, because 8 by 4 is 2, but minus sign is this, so it's minus 2. Now what about this line? Let's write it. Let me take y to the other side. It's 2x equals y minus 5. And let me take this side first. Y minus 5 is equal to 2x. Or you can leave it like that. It's fine. But this is the easy way to understand, isn't it? And then we have y is equal to 2x plus 5. That's the equation. What is the slope here? The slope here, m, is 2. Why? Because the equation is given as y is equal to mx plus b. Other slopes equal? No, they are not parallel. It's minus. Other slopes perpendicular? No. If it had to be perpendicular, if m and m, it's parallel, right? But if it had to be perpendicular, if you have 2, then other one will be 1 by 2, which is not the case. So we can tell they are neither. So the slopes are not equal, the lines are not parallel, and it is also not perpendicular because they are not reciprocal, negative, and it's not inverse of each other. Now what about this? Find the error. Alona says that the line through this particular point is parallel to the line through going these 2 points. How can you tell she is mistaken without determining the slope? Explain your reasoning. Okay, now you can see here, she's telling the lines are parallel. That means they will never touch each other, right? But look at this point and this point. What can you see there? They are the same points. So that means no matter what, the line's going to touch somewhere at 5, minus 6. Isn't it? So this is why we can tell she's wrong. Why? Because the lines, whatever the lines are, will be touching at the same common point. Therefore, they cannot be parallel. You can just tell these points are repeated, therefore they have to touch that or intersect that point, so they cannot be parallel. And that's the end of question 10. A very simple one. Just remember the 2 formulas, the slope-intercept form and the slope formula. Compare the slopes and then determine whether they are parallel or perpendicular. Moving to the next question, the question 11 is inverses of linear functions. Here you can see we have been given a function f of x equals 8x minus 5. We have to find its inverse. You can see f of x is over here. That means its function of x or y equals 8x minus 5. Always remember, if you have been given f of x, g of x, s of x, anything like that, this all indicates they are y value. Okay, so they are all the function of x, which is y. Now then, here what you need to do is inverse. What exactly is inverse? What is inverse of, say, 2? 2 inverse is 1 by 2, or we write it as 2 to the power minus 1, because when we take it up, it will become exponent of minus 1. If you take x inverse, you can write it as 1 by x, or in simple, we can write it as x minus 1, x power minus 1. So if I tell you inverse of a, it will be a power minus 1, a inverse. Now what is the inverse of f? It is f minus 1. What is the inverse of f of x? It should be f of f to the power minus 1 of x. So this will have minus 1. Okay, this much is, I think, so clear. Now, when we solve inverse, we have to remember one rule when it is, say, like this in a graph coordinate plane. X and Y inverse would be swapping these both. So if I find the inverse over here, it'll be swapped up. So you need to make this Y as X and X as Y. That's it. This now Y is basically the inverse function. Always Y is given as the function of X, right? So yes, this is the function, but we need to make sure we have to write it as F inverse in a while. But now what we need to do is we need to solve only for y. Take everything else to the other side, this minus 5 to the other side. It becomes x plus 5 is equal to 8y. Divide both the sides by 8. You will get y equals x plus 5 by 8, isn't it? Now this y is the inverse function f inverse of x because we swapped over here x and y, so that became the inverse function. Now in the exam, since it's electronic part, all you need to do is directly you can see f of x. Directly you can write it as, instead of writing y, you can directly write it as x equals 8y minus 5. You don't need to do the steps, isn't it? Then what you need to do is just find for y. So I'll take this x plus 5 equals 8y divided by 8 divided by 8. So this will be your answer. You should just choose f inverse x is equal to x plus 5 by 8. That would be the answer. Okay, now generally they'll write the answers only like this. But if at all you see here, you can divide both the terms by 8, isn't it? It will become x by 8 plus 5 by 8. That is equal to f inverse of x. This is rarely given in the options. Generally, this would be the option which will be given, x plus 5 divided by 8. Now, over here, what do we have is the same thing. I'll quickly solve it. I'll directly make this y to x is equal to 6y plus 7. Now, it's up to you. You can multiply this inside if you want. It'll be 6y plus 5 times 30 plus 12 is 42. And take the 42 to the other side. It'll be x minus 42 equals 6 by y. Divide both the sides by 6. You will have x minus 42 by 6. You can just stop here because it's electronic. That's the answer. X minus 42 by 6. I mean, this also can be written, but it's really done. Generally, you will get this in the options. Please do these problems by yourselves. I will solve it anyways, but you can, skip ahead or solve this by yourself and then check for the correct answers. X is equal to 3 by 4y plus 9. 9 to the other side will be x minus 9 equals 3/4 y. 4 times x minus 9 divided by 3 would be equal to y. So that would be the answer. Or there might be some variation. The 4 might be multiplied inside as well. Or this entire thing is multiplied inside over here. You can, no, it's just kept like this, sorry. This is the correct answer itself. And here as well, please solve them by yourselves now. X is equal to minus 16 plus 2 by 5y. It will be x plus 16. I'll write equal to by 5y. This 5 to the other side. And divided by 2. So that would be the answer. That is y. This goes off. So it's 5 by 2x plus 16. And here, again, another simple one. It's x is equal to 3y plus 5 divided by 4. See, I'm not writing y is equal to and then changing. I'm directly changing it over here. It's up to you. If you're getting confused, you can make that step as well. It'll be 4x is equal to 3y plus 5. Take it to the other side. It'll be 4x minus 5. That will be the answer. Just directly jump to the answer because it's all in electronic. Okay, now I forgot one important thing. 3y. I took this minus, it's 3y. Divide both the sides by 3. It will be 4x minus 5 by 3. That is equal to f inverse of x. I hope that is clear. And similarly, the last problem, just like that, it will be x is equal to minus 4y plus 1 divided by 5. 5 to the other side will be 5x equals minus 4y plus 1. Now here what you need to do is, because I need y always positive, I'll take this to the other side, I'll swap these two, okay? 4y becomes positive and 5x becomes negative plus 1. And now y is equal to divided by, it'll be 5x plus 1 divided by 4. That'd be the final answer. I hope that's clear. Now over here they have written the same thing, but they have written 1 first. You can also write this as minus 5x. That is also absolutely fine. So that's the thing. You can just imagine you have minus 2 plus 1 or 1 minus 2. What's the answer? Here it'll be negative 1. Here also it's negative 1. So that is fine. So that's the answer. And that's the end of this question. Another simple question. Just remember, for inverse, you need to swap x and y positions. And then you need to solve for y, which will become the inverse function. The question 12 is about step functions. Here you can see we have f of x equals 2 step function x minus 1. Now what happens over here is, whatever is inside the step function, this is the step function, whatever is the value x, that will be corresponding to its lower whole number or the integer. In the sense, if I have say 1.5, this will be equal to, in a step function, so it's two big brackets, that will be equal to 1, previous whole number. So if you have 1.5, which is the previous integer, the bigger, the lower integer than this, it's in the middle, right? Now if you see the number line, say let's take minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and let's take minus 2. If you have anywhere over here 1.5, you should correspond to the previous integer value, that's 1. Now what if you have 0.9 here? Previous whole number integer is 0. Now what if your 2.1, previous integer is 2? Now it is different in the case. See, it's very easy if it's in positive. So if you have 1.7, just consider the whole, the whole number over here. Now whatever is before the decimal, 2.7, decimal over here, 3.9, it's 3. So 4.95, it's just 4. Very easy, isn't it? But it changes when we consider negative numbers. Now what if it's negative 0.25, somewhere over here? You don't go front, you just go back, isn't it? Now negative 0.25 would correspond to minus 1. Now minus 1.1 corresponds to minus 2. Now what is 1.9? Minus 1.9 will correspond also to minus 2. So this is how it works. And negative numbers you have to take lesser than that whole number over here, whatever number is in the decimal. Whereas for the positive numbers, you just take the the number before the decimal. Let's solve these up now. Here they have told, find the value f of 1.5. The same equation, 2, it's step function. Instead of x, we have 1.5 minus 1. So we solve whatever is inside the step function first. It's going to be 0.5, right? 1.5 minus 1 times 2. Now what is this? It's not 0.5, it's 0. This will be solved to 0. 2 times 0 is 0. That's the answer. Now this cannot be solved in calculator because the step function cannot be put in the calculator which we have. Now what about this one? It's 2 times 2.2 minus 1. It's 2 brackets. 2 like this, big brackets. 2 times 2.2 minus 1 is 1.2, isn't it? Like this. And now what is this value? It is 1 because the previous decimal, before the decimal point, we have 1 and it's positive. So 2 times 1 is 2. So the answer is 2 here. So that is how we solve these numbers. Now again, we have the same equation. We can just do it quickly here. 2 into what happens? 9.7 minus 1 is 8.7. And then we have step function. So it's 2 times 8. It'll be 16. What about this number here? Again, the same thing, 2 times, now I'll write it as minus 1.25 minus 1. Now it's 2 times, what is negative 1.25 minus 1? So it's going to be minus 2.25. So now don't think it's minus 2. Why? Because in the number line, minus 2 is over here and minus 3 is before it. So minus 2.25 is here, right? It goes to minus 3. Whereas what about this one? 8, 9, 7. What about this? It's 8.7 here. It goes to the previous whole number, that is 8. isn't it? But here it changes. It becomes 2. The step function for negative 2.25 is, you just multiply this by minus 3. You go to the negative previous integer, that's minus 3. It's minus 6 is the answer here. 16 and negative 6, you can see this. And oh, that is the end of question 12. A very easy one. Just remember the rule for the step function. You always have to go to the previous integer. In the positive numbers, just see the whole number before the decimal point, but whereas negative numbers, it is the previous integer value. Question 13 is graphing step functions. Here we have been told to graph this particular function. Now, this is in the electronic part. You will be given 4 graphs and you just have to choose the correct graph. So this will be very easy. Now let's look into the answer and I will tell you in detail what happens. You can make this table. In the last video, we have seen how to solve the step functions. You can choose x values and find the y values and plot it out. Up to you. Now, what I would suggest is easily you can find the correct answer. Look at whatever number is being multiplied to the step function. If there is a number being multiplied, that is the jump. Can you see there is 3? Over here also, the jump is 3. That is the number. If it was no number multiplied, that's 1, then it would have been like this. Okay, that's the thing. See whether anything is added or subtracted. There is nothing added or subtracted, so it will start over here at this point, go over there, and then the whole. Now the domain is always, see over here, I'll just explain this quickly, but the graph is more important. Domain is all real numbers, and here range is now multiples of whatever this number, multiples of 3. Remember, it's only integer multiples. Integer means whole numbers like -1, -2, 1, 2, 3. No decimals are included. That's the concept. Now always remember, when you have anything that's positive x, there will be a point and then a whole. This is very, very important, and it's always for one block. Okay, the scale is always for one block. Now here easily you can see there is a jump of 3. X is positive, so there's a point and a whole, and there's nothing else. That's it. That'll be the graph. But let us look into this problem here. You have 4 graphs. How would you choose which is the correct one? Now, I wouldn't tell you the exact equation, but I'll tell you this is having a jump of 3. It has something to do with 3 times step function x. Now here, look at this. Before coming to this, I'll just go over here. 1, 2, there is a jump of 2 everywhere. So something with 2x must be there. The step function will have something with 2x. Now, I don't know the exact value, that's fine, but I know it's going, not increasing, it's not going left to right, it's going up to down. So there is a minus sign. Somewhere over here, there's minus. Now look at this one here. The step is all 1, 1, 1. So that means I just have a step function of x, something like that. And now if you look carefully, it's not starting at 0 and over here, it's not starting there. It has moved to one place to the right. So x has been moved by 1 unit. If you bring this inside, it is basically x minus 1 equals 0. So it has to be something like this, minus 1. Yes, this would be the correct answer. So for this particular equation, the graph is D. But now what about the B function? Here only you can see the points and the whole are flipped. That means you have minus x inside the step function. This is one important thing. And then it's going up. That's enough. So this is one thing that must be there. Okay, in this particular graph. We'll see all these graphs one by one now with the equations. But if you have been given 4 graphs, it's very easy to eliminate the wrong graphs and choose the correct one. See, there was 1 and 1. But this is the correct one. Why? Because it's positive and you're minus 1, so it's moving over there. Look here, minus x. What happens? It has to go left side. Whenever there is negative, inside or outside, it will be a decreasing function. But since it's inside the bracket, you can see there is a hole and a point. And over here, there will be a jump of 2. So yes, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. And there's minus, so it's decreasing downwards. What about this one? It is just 1, but there is 3, isn't it? So it has come 1, 2, 3 to the left. That's it. The step is 1. Now over here the jump is 1 again, but it's going to the right because minus 1, it will be right. See here, minus plus 3 means to the left. It changes. Why? Because just consider this as x plus 3 equals 0. Solve it up. X is equal to minus 3. So 1, 2, 3. But even if you don't understand that, it's fine. Just remember, if it is plus or minus, it will not be starting at its original point, not over here, somewhere left or the right. Now, since it's 1, it'll jump only at 1, like after every interval of 1. Here also we saw the same one. Now here it's half. You can see each of the step functions are at half in the y-axis. And it's positive, so it's going up. And that's it. So easily you can figure out which is the correct graph because you will be given 4 graphs. This is in the choice part. You will have 4 multiple choices, right? You can easily choose the correct one looking at the function. We are in the penultimate question in the multiple choices part. It is on solving one-step inequalities. Here you have got inequalities which are just solved in a single step. Now, if you recall the writing part, we had compound inequalities where it was too long. This one is just one step, very simple. You need to see which variable you need to solve. That's m. It's less than or equal to. 4 goes to the other side and becomes multiplication. It's multiplied with minus 17. So m is less than or equal to 7 times 4 will be 80 minus 12. That is 68. Minus 68 here. That's the answer. And what about this? 2 to the other side will be a less than 20 times 2. It's a less than 40. But they have told graph it in a number line. So the number line over here, wherever there is 68, minus 68, previous one will be minus 69, minus 70 till minus infinity, right? Over here it will be 67, negative, and so on till positive infinity. Now here you need to put a point at minus 68. Make sure you put a circle and then fill it up like this. And then you have to extend it to the left side. Whereas for this graph, it will be 40 less than. So it will be a hole and then it goes to the left side. That's the difference. So you can see the solutions. Over here, this is wrong. I apologize for that. I didn't realize when I was doing the solution set. It should have been minus 68 and left side, this is error. Whereas this is correct. You can see there's a hole and minus left of 40. Whereas over here, it should be greater than. I mean, it should be less than or equal to, and it's minus 60. This is a wrong graph altogether. It should have been a point as well. Now let's solve these over here. What do you do? Same thing. Let's leave the c over here, minus c as it is. Only 11 goes. Minus 11 multiplied by 11, it is negative 121. Greater than minus c. So now when you solve this up, you need to have c as positive, right? So you multiply throughout by minus 1. The sign changes everywhere. It will be 121. But this symbol flips because you're changing the sign from minus to plus. From greater than will become less than. This is the answer. Or you can write the c first. C, what is it? Open side 121. C is great. Both of this read same. C is greater than 121. C is greater than 121. So in the graph, hole at 121 and greater than means to the right. Here as well, it will be minus 2 times 34 only, greater than or equal to minus d here. 34 will be 68 negative, greater than or equal to minus d. Let's remove the negative signs. The sign flips, the inequality flips, sorry, and the signs are dissolved. It becomes positive and positive. So d is greater than or equal to 68 here. What about the graph? Wherever 68 is there, it should be greater than or equal to. So that would be the answer. Here you can see it's 121 over here and there's 60. Now I did a mistake in the second one. I didn't make it a point. Since it's greater than or equal to, it must be a point. Now let me show you some shortcuts. You can do this in calculator as well, but there are a few drawbacks. Let's do the previous problem first. See these. All you need to do is type this in the calculator. Half 1 by 2. A is the variable x. Instead of inequality, just press equal to. Sorry, I pressed something wrong. It should be equal to alpha and equal to, and then press 20. Shift and solve. The answer is 40. You can Since it's positive a, leave a at the same side, write the inequality same, and the answer is whatever over here. That's it. Now, what about the left side? Let's do that as well. It is 1/4. M is the variable x is equal to negative 17 minus 17. So before I write the answer, whatever the answer we get, we have to write m. Since this is positive, you just write the same sign. And now here, you just press shift and solve, and then equal to the answer is negative 68 to the right. Negative 68. That's it. Now I will show you just over here, what if it was minus 1/4 m? What if it was minus? Then you need to make sure the sign flips. Now look at this one. You can just press shift, solve, and equal to. Now the answer is 68, not negative 68. So let's write 68. But there is a problem here. This inequality is not the same, it swaps because you have minus sign. Let me show you why. Because if I solve this one with a negative sign, see here, 4 goes to the other side, so it'll be m less than or equal minus m. Okay, this will be negative 68. Now I multiply throughout by minus 1, so this becomes positive, this also becomes positive. But what happens to the inequality? It flips. So this is something you need to be very, very careful of. So whenever there is minus sign, you have to flip. But it gets complicated. Let me give you one more example here. See, this is 20. I'll write greater than half of A. Now, in such cases, there is another complication. Let me write it out. 20 instead of inequality, I put equal to 1 by 2. Instead of half, I'll write x. Now here, whatever shift and solve answer I get, right? I need to write it. See, now it's up to you. You can, if it's all positive, you can write it like this, greater than A. Or if you're writing this A over here, you must make sure that you write it less than 40. See, this is the thing. It gets a little complicated. But for this one, if the A or the variable is in the other side, what I would suggest is just write wherever the variable is, write the inequality as it is and write 40. But what if it was minus over here? If this was minus, then I still write A below over here. Then I solve it, it'll be minus 40, but just flip the sign. Let's do some problems which are like that. See here. Next one over here. Let me solve it in calculator. Minus 11 equal to, that is alpha, and equal to minus 6 is C is x by 11. Shift solve equal to, what is the answer? It's 121. So now what you need to do is write 121 over here. Greater than. Now this sign flips. Why does the sign flip? Because we have negative C. C is over here. The sign flips. Now if you want, you can write the C first, greater than 121. It's just that whenever you see a negative sign at the variable, just flip the sign. And don't change the variable by yourself to the other side. No. You just leave it as it is. So over here C, answer is 121, but since your minus sign, it flipped. This now you can change it and write it as C greater than 121. If it was writing exam, this is absolutely correct. But now since you have to look into the options, you may not get this particular option. You will have this option. Okay. C is greater than 121. So answer will be generally written C first. Or it might be given as the number line. Number line is very easy as well. So that is the thing. Now let's do this one in calculator. Minus 2 equals minus x by 34. Shift and solve and then press equal to, you get 68. Now what happens? Here, write 68 left side, write D over here, but flip the inequality. Why? Because there was a negative sign. So this is the answer. It's simple once you understand the concept, but still students get confused with this flipping thing when there's negative. When there's positive, it's pretty straightforward. So if you're getting confused, just solve it up. Okay. Now here you can see this is the answer. Now in the solution set, we can flip it up. D first, greater than or equal to 68. Now, what about these? Again, the same thing. Let me just show you in calculator itself. Minus 10 equals here fraction x divided by minus 2. Now, don't think minus 2 is only for for the 2 value. No, this is for the entire term. It's for x itself. When I write shift and solve, I need to consider this minus is for entire term, even x is having the inequality, negative sign. So I have to flip the inequality, write x over here and 20. So that's how we do it. Now, even over here, the next problem, I'll just do it in the calculator just to show you how it can be done. 72 minus 72 equals, we have x by minus 6. So shift and solve, and that's the answer, 432. Here, when we write 432, make sure you flip the inequality and f. If you want to write f first, it will be f less than 432. So here you can see it's 20 greater than or equal to x, or x less than or equal to 20. So here as well. So f is, see, f is greater than 432, or you can write it as f less than 432. That's the thing. Please solve these over here by yourself and make sure when you're graphing, whatever the answer you get, if it's less than, it goes to the left. See, it's less than. Less means left. This is less than or equal to. Why? Because there is a point over here, not just a hole. If it's a hole, then it's only greater than or less than. But if it's greater than, it's going to the right. So make sure you select the graphs correctly. And that's the end of the penultimate question. The final question in the multiple choice part is solving absolute value inequalities. Here you can see there is absolute values and inequalities. We have solved absolute value before, we have solved inequalities. We will do them together. Before that, what does absolute value mean? Now imagine there is absolute value x, that is x, and also absolute value minus x will be also x. So there are two cases inside this. It either can be positive or negative. The answer will be positive itself. So there will be two cases, case 1 and case 2. One thing, this x can be positive or negative. That is, let me just write it, minus x plus 8 can be less than 16, or I can write first one as positive, okay? And next one I can write it as negative. X plus 8 will be less than 16. These are the two cases. Whatever is inside the absolute value becomes positive or negative. Now here there are two terms, so we write it in brackets. Why? Because this minus sign can be multiplied inside to both the terms. It will be minus x and minus 8, not plus 8. Why? Because we multiply the minus inside. It will be minus 8 less than 16. Now how do we solve this? 16 to the other side will be minus x less than 16 plus 8 will be minus x is less than 24. But we cannot keep it minus. We have to change the sign, isn't it? We can make this plus. This has minus 24, but then we need to flip the inequality. That will be the answer here. What about this? It's just x plus 8 less than 16. 8 to the other side would be x less than 16 minus 8. X is less than 8. So these are the two answers over here. Now then, these are the case 1. This is case 1. This is case 2. That will be the answer. And then we need to graph them because they have told graph the solution set. So your answer might be in the options of 4 graphs. Which are the graphs? 8. Where is 8? Somewhere over here. And there is minus 24 somewhere over here. Minus 24, positive 8. You can see x is less than 8, so it goes to the left, and it's greater than minus 24, it goes to the right. So all this region is the solution region. And since it's just less than, you have to just put a hole. Or even for greater than, you put a hole. Whereas if it was like this or like this, then we put a point. So that is the answer. But you can solve these in calculator because it's in the multiple choice part, isn't it? So here you can see this is the answers. Minus 24x is greater than and less than. And this is the solution set, the graph. But how can you do it in the calculator? See, to do it in the calculator, you need to write only case 1 and case 2. Case 1, case 2. And now all you need to do is write the first case as it is, the question remains the same. Only for the second case, you put minus sign outside. Wherever the first, see the absolute value is there, right? Over there, you write minus and change the bracket. Remember something like this. If you have to remove this absolute value, you have to either put plus, and next case, you have to put minus. That's it. So now we'll take our calculators. Here, let us type it out. X plus 8 instead of inequality, press equal to 16. Let's shift and solve, and the answer over here is 8. So x is less than 8. The symbol, the inequality doesn't change. Now what about this one? Let us write it. Minus bracket x plus 8, close the bracket, equals 16. Let us shift and solve and then press equal to minus 24. So here, remember, since minus was there for x, this x is minus, right? So we have to write x, the answer minus 24. It's just that this inequality flips here. That's the only thing. So these are the answers. That's what we had got. And then you can just graph it out. 8, everything less than, minus 24, greater than. That be the solution. So this is how we basically solve it. Here as well, let's quickly do it in calculator now. Case 1, case 2. R plus 1 is less than or equal to 2. Minus of R plus 1 is less than or equal to 2. That's it. Now let's put it in the calculators. Alpha x, R can be written as the variable x in the calculator, and inequality is written as equal to. And shift and solve, the answer is 1 here. So let me write. How do we write it now? This is very important. R is positive, so it remains there only. The answer is over here, and the inequality doesn't change. Here, whatever happens, the answer will write at the right, but inequality changes. Why? Because there's minus to the R or the variable. So here, all I need to do is minus and put the brackets. That's it. Shift and solve. The answer is negative 3. So R will be greater than or equal to, not less than or equal to, greater than or equal to minus 3. So now here, whenever you do the points, make sure they are points. It's not whole, it's points. Now it's less than or equal to 1, so it goes to the left, and greater than or equal to minus 3 to the right. So that is the solution region from minus 3 to 1. So that is how we solve this. Here you can see that's the answer. Now please do solve the other problems by yourselves. They are just the same. There's nothing much. I will directly tell you the answers in the calculator. First time, write this question as it is without the absolute value. Equals 7. Shift and solve. This is the thing. X will be less than or equal to 4. The answer is 4. See. Case 1. C will be less than or equal to 4. For case 2, C will be greater than or equal to, because there's minus sign here, right? So all we need to do is, it'll be minus in the case 2. Close the bracket and shift and solve. And the answer is negative 3 here. So it's minus 3. That's it. So that would be the answer. And you know how to graph it. Less than or equal to 4, that's everything less than that, and greater than or equal to minus 3 is to the right. Now what about this one? It's the same thing. First one 3, but instead of h we put x minus 3 equals 12. Shift and solve, the answer is 5, and the next answer would be in minus. Open the brackets, close it over here, open and close the bracket. The answer would be minus 3, but remember to flip the inequality sign. So you can see the answer over here will be flipped by the inequality sign. And it's minus 3 here, greater than. Now look at this one. Is this true? Doesn't matter what you put inside the absolute value, you will get a positive answer. So whenever you have a negative answer as equal to absolute value, that's wrong. This is error. There's no solution here. So it cannot be. See, it's null set. Empty set or null set is given like this. And this cannot be possible because you cannot have a negative number here. So there is nothing. See, can you see it's just a blank number line with nothing on it. Now even over here it's the same thing. It's an empty set, nothing on it, empty number line. Now here we will have the answers. you can just put it out over here in the calculator. X plus 2 equals 6. Sorry, I pressed the wrong thing. Uh, Equals 6, and shift and solve, then press equal to. The answer is 4. One of the answer, then all you need to do is change this up over here, shift and solve, it's minus 8. So you can see the first one, r is greater than 4, and one more, it'll be r is less than minus 8. But what happens here? See, it's a whole left side is the solution. Over here, it's the right side. Can you see that they're not intersecting each other? It's not in between. It's away from each other. They'll never, the solution regions do not touch each other. Same thing over here. You can easily put them in the calculator, solve it up. First one over here just goes to the other side, becomes plus 7. The answer will be k greater than 7. And k less than 1 will be when in the case 2, when this entire thing is minus. This is how we can easily solve these problems. And that is the end of all the multiple choice questions. If you have found these videos helpful, please share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel, Best Math, where you can find all the end of term exam questions and exam lessons explanation for free. And I just want to thank all the students who like my videos, who share my videos, and all the gratitude comments. I really thank you so much. Your comments really make my day. A single thank you always puts a big smile on my face. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your exams. I hope everyone does well. If you have any doubts, any clarifications, please do post them in the comments and I will get back to you.